try and maybe go ahead of this. They are trying, and Smoggy says no. Going to take down one. Kung's there as well. A couple of trades come back through, and man, he still stands. Down to 21 HP, but he's still breathing, but only for a moment longer. Oh, Chichoo, come on! The Red Bull clutch to kick it off. A little bit of hope for T1, but only for a moment, as EDG rip it away.
But today we're going to talk about everyone's favorite team, Edward Gaming, and how they destroyed T1 with a Cypher on Haven. But we're not actually going to start off with talking about any Cypher utility. We're going to talk about QQ and his amazing talent. As we will see from this round, he actually loses this round by the finest of margins. But our situation is this. It's round 3. It's the bonus round for Edward Gaming. They've got the spike down on C, and we're about to see a 5v5 retake.
It's come quick. Sire's a million miles away from this still.
Nice paranoia, nice smoke. Might be caught out here. Should be, is. Okay, Munchkin, nice work. Kung's still alive though. Gonna take down Munchkin. Spammed away. Band's not gonna let him get away with that. Not able to deal with Chichoo though. A 1v3 is a tall task though. Does get the Vandal, 6 bullets. That is a lot to ask for. Oh my word. Chichoo! There's
He didn't get it.
Wait.
He got the defuse.
How did he get the defuse? So close.
So let's start diving into how they use this Cypher then, and we'll start here with round number 5. And of course, what you would expect from most Cyphers is that they're going to play pretty disconnected from the team. We got the 2 trips here, of course, on the attacking side, but let's take a look at where QQ goes, because he did spend a lot of time kind of towards Garage here for Edward Gaming. The rest of the EDGs kind of start off with this kind of play towards A. You can see we got a smoke here, we got the dart coming out just there. We got Sire player with an op here for T1 looking down a long, and you can see we use the Silver drone and a jet smoke just here. But what's about to happen and what we're interested in is this Cypher, because we're about to place a cam just in here towards Garage. Now, I'm not quite sure. We can't obviously tell whether he actually gets into this camera or if it just gets destroyed before he actually can take a look and see that the killjoy is there. But what's important is that, you know, that has happened and we get the information that someone is here. And they were doing this camera fairly often, as we'll see in a later round. It wasn't always the camera that they were doing. They would put some kind of on this wall here just to check for aggression, or out here and check for aggression, right? It wasn't always, but they brought out at kind of key moments to give them good information of what was going in towards Garage. And we'll see in just a second what's about to happen. We get a Sovereign in response from T1 that doesn't really land too much value, but Kang, of course, wants to take every fight he can, but he dies to Sire player. But now, as soon as Kang has died, literally the very millisecond that Kang has died, QQ decides that this is his time now to try and take this fight in Garage. He knows that it's probable that it's only one player. It could be 2 players, but at this point you're in a 4v5. You want to even the numbers if you can. So he wants to try and take this fight. He knows that someone was in there, so it's likely there will be a fight incoming because of his Cypher cam giving him that information. And so let's see how it goes.
A great connection. Takes down the threat. And now operating with 4. Chichoo might become it. Keep in mind, he's been filthy so far.
So not only does QQ win this fight, but then as we saw, he also pops off the Cypher ult, which is going to reveal where the T1 players are, revealing a pretty big gap on B. But T1 obviously know there's a pretty big gap on B as well, so they are going to flood in here towards this B site, as you'll see in just a second. But thank the Lord for the buffed Cypher ult, because it reveals the second time. And the second time that this ping goes off, just about now, we see that all of T1 are actually kind of converged towards B. So what that means is Smoggy here, he's going to actually come and take the space in towards A. You see that the spike had kind of come back from A towards B, but now they're going to pivot back after the second Cypher ping reveals that T1 are coming back towards B. So we see here that QQ, you know, starts to come towards this B site, actually gets onto the B site, but then they start to leave, and we can see that Smoggy has taken this space on towards A. They put the smoke down here, and the spike is on its way. Now, not only have we got this, but take a look at the lurk that we also get here from Howdong. Just absolutely beautiful to come back in towards Garage, you know, and a lurk that they never really expect you to go for in this situation. The spike starts going down, and now let's take a look at this 4v4 post plan.
It's on the Sire player to try and...
Disgusting lurk from Haldong as well.
Oh, he's opting to go all the way around CT too. Yep. In case it wasn't already looking rough, it's going to get a whole lot worse.
Hey, Chichoo is going to get wallbanged.
The second that dart went up. And look at Howdong. Spots 1, spots 2. And he's pulled it. Gonna find Ban. Knows where Carpe is. Paranoia's gonna go through as well, so Carpe can't even try and trade it. And he's just costing them so much time. They're smothering him now. He's got support in this. It's not just Howdong alone. Smoggy's come around too. They fancy a bit of it. Zeta might be able to try and keep his teammate safe here. Yeah, he is, okay. But the time, EDG getting a little audacious in the plays, nobody going hunting too. He wants to take these weapons away. He's done very well for one. The operator will be staying though. And EDG make it to a 4th.
But again, let's come to round number 10, where again, we will see some good Cypher utility. So it starts off with this Cypher cage just here. And, well, T1 and Munchkin here is going to try and be a bit aggressive, and he's going to try and peek out something that T1 like to do, you know, sometimes to just take these individual fights. But with the cage there, I'll just tell you right now, you won't be able to hear it, but it will set off, right? And that's why they start spamming it, and that's why Munchkin has to quickly dash away. But then what we'll see here, and I really like this from EDG, because again, they are going to go for the same Cypher camera coming in just here. And again, throughout this game, you know, they did this, you know, 4 or 5 times. Sometimes it saw no one, sometimes it got destroyed, right? But this time what they're going to do, you know, is put down the camera, but then also we're going to get a smoke, and we're going to get a dart, okay? And the idea behind this, again, they want to peek in and destroy the turret. So yes, you've gone and destroyed the camera just there, but obviously QQ can kind of hear where that shot is maybe coming from. And with the dart as well, you know, they're kind of thinking, well, you know, with all this utility combined together, you won't be able to destroy it all until we'll get decent information, and we'll get to destroy the turret, which we do just there. So they go and destroy that turret early on, and again, they kind of know where this player is, because then they broke the dart as well here, Munchkin, so they kind of have a decent idea based off the gunshots. Whilst that's all going on, as we can see here, T1 have pushed towards A main, and we're going to do a very normal thing, which is Sova drone from this position here. You know, we haven't had much action towards A. Let's see what's going on towards A main. But I just love the reaction here from EDG, right? Because what's going to happen is flash is going to come from a breach. And that's a bit suspicious, right? Because this flash tells you that the breach pretty much has to be where this breach is, right? Where we can see where this breach is. Like, you know, to do this flash on this wall, this breach has to be pretty pushed up. And why are you flashing this drone? Like, why are you so, you know, why are you so desperate to flash this drone, right? Could be suspicious that maybe someone is pushed up. And then it gets even more suspicious as we then get a Sovereign coming out as well, you know, as he's trying to maybe punish nobody in that drone. But again, maybe a little suspicious here from EDG, but of course now they've seen the breach flash, and now the Sova is ulting from here, so they just instantly pivot and go, well, okay, then we'll go see, right? Because we're a bit suspicious that there might be someone else here as well, right? You flashed this wall, the breach is pushed up, and you're now Sova ulting. All a bit sus, perhaps, and so they very quickly pivot in towards C, and then from this point, again, you're going to see QQ is going to win this fight against Munchkin, and then he's going to Cypher ult as well, and then from this point, really, it's just domination. We'll end up in a 5v3, and then we'll end up getting those kills as well, other than Zeta, who will just save his gun.
Oh, no! That's just going to be devastating. Oh, come on! Gokung is just too good at this game. Man's dead in the blink of an eye. The other 3 a million miles away. You can already see it. Chichoo's already up into garage. This is
It's
brutal.
the fear, it's the paranoia again, though. Off the owl drone, they're desperate to try and find I don't want to say a cheesy kill, but a freebie off the Hunter's Fury to potentially play Sire in. And just like that, the blink of an eye, EDG find 2 kills elsewhere. It's so rough for T1.
Oh, he's just walking through them. He is walking through them.
But now let's swap over to the defensive half, and we'll start here with round number 18, which is a very, very bizarre round, as you're about to see. So what we've got from EDG here on the defense is they got this 4-stack here, and they got their Cypher on C, and with the double trips here, 1 on B, 1 on towards Garage just there. And what you'll see is they're going to get aggressive towards A, okay? We send out the flash, the dart, we send out a stun, we're going to smoke this off, right? All, you know, not crazy stuff, but also take a look at what our Cypher is doing, because that's really a very interesting part. And they did this in multiple rounds, where we've got this deep Cypher camp. And I think that the idea here is to punish T1 for the way that they default on this map, because you can see they put an alarm bot towards C. Now, some teams will have a person watch, you know, to see if anyone is going to come and push down here. And obviously, if there was a player here, they would just destroy this cam, and then this Cypher would just be without a cam, and, you know, it would be that pretty much. But this Cypher cam probably is telling them if there are people there, they probably want to do some kind of, you know, C hit, or that was probably one of their initial ideas, because perhaps most of the time they're actually just putting an alarm bot here and not wasting a player towards that kind of part of the map. But obviously in this instance, what it means is that QQ here can basically go on this cam and see no one's there, right? This is all completely clear, and he can get pushed up all the way down here, right? So whilst that's going on, T1 are droning in towards Garage here, and they're going to come and put this Killjoy lockdown in there. Now, judging by the rest of the map, it looks like they want to run this as a fake, right? They're going for like a fake Killjoy lockdown here in Garage to then come back towards A. But EDG have 4 players here towards A, so it all ends up being very, very bizarre when, you know, they break this trip, and look at where EDG are on this map. I mean, it's absolutely insane. The Killjoy lockdown comes in, and now we're going to get a really, really big fight where essentially we're going to end up pinching in on these players of T1.
Players was baited in, toyed in, teased in, he still gets the kill! How long is there with a ban? Tries to do everything he can, still does the damage. Chichoo comes back around, and EDG all too.
So they end up in this 3v1 here against Munchkin. They don't play it great, but again, our Cypher will come in clutch.
Prepared for this. Munchkin once again left here alone. Desolate. So few options. Oh, adding insult to injury, isn't it? What are you meant to do? Got 3 to clear. Stunned up. 38 seconds. Even the turret's not on his side at this point. Can he isolate one of these? First, yes. Trying to look for that swing. Chichoo held off. The second!
Okay.
Munchkin, you knew where he was. And he waits. He waits. Oh, no! Heartbreak! As Chichoo timed it so well. And the moment Munchkin moved away, EDG make it to 12.
And let's finish with the very last round, which is the continuation of the round that we just saw. T1 took a timeout and they have a breach ult. Now, I don't know how predictable T1 are with these ults, but it's very common for teams, you know, on this ace to come to this A site with a breach ult, right? That's a very, very common thing. Maybe T1 do it too much, I'm not sure, because it seems like EDG had just a little feeling that maybe they were going to come to this A site. What might give it away is the fact that QQ is... The round has actually started and he's not even on the C site, right? Because he's had to run from A to put a trip down on a site where they have 4 players. And one of them is in heaven as well. It's almost as if they very much knew that this breach ult was coming here from T1. And as we run this round forward, we'll see we get a bit of a jet knives battle here from Kankang as he goes up into the sky. He actually has the Bucky here as well. But you can see our setup here is just waiting for this breach ult to come in, right? We are just so ready for this breach ult. We got one player in this corner here hoping to avoid it. We got a player in heaven. We got a player in hell. Obviously, Kankang is getting aggressive with his Bucky, but in comes that breach ult and actually does miss this player in the corner just here. But we've got 4 players and a kill trip on this site. So now let's take a look at how it plays out, where it's going to be very, very messy, very chaotic, but our man here, our Cypher, is going to rotate and get a crucial kill towards the end of it, and this kill trip is going to end the game.
Tucked in the corner though, dealt with by that. Oh! Dives a little further ahead, Zeta's still standing. Smoggy's there though, they walk through the smoke to their slaughter. Paranoia sent EDG massacring T1. Until then, it's Chichoo trying to do something to deny it. No! Hold on! Confirms it! T1 slaughtered by EDG.